So, good afternoon. To continue our discussion on the pros and cons of artificial intelligence, let us now proceed with the disadvantages of artificial intelligence. Okay? So, we have here a list of disadvantages of artificial intelligence. Okay? We have high cost of implementation, job displacement, lack of creativity, ethical concerns, unemployment, lack of transparency, and environmental impact. So, isa-isahin natin yung iba't ibang disadvantages ng AI. Number one is the high cost of implementation. Setting up AI-based machines entails significant costs due to the complexity of engineering involved. No, so basically, uh, the implementation of AI refers to the significant financial investment required for developing, integrating, and maintaining AI systems, posing a barrier for some organizations. So yung kasing pag-implement at pag-integrate ng AI is malaking investment. So that's one of the disadvantages of AI. Second one is job displacement. AI automation may lead to job losses in certain industries which could have a significant impact on the workforce. No? In job displacement in AI refers to the negative impact on employment caused by automation and technology, leading to the reduction of elimination of certain jobs such that as tasks are taken over by AI systems. For example, yung mga repetitive tasks no, na automate na. Kung dati, tao ang gumagawa and kung ma-automate na yung process na yun, syempre, madi-displace na or mawala na ng trabaho yung tao. So, that's job displacement. Third one is what do you call this? The lack of creativity. No? AI lacks original thought and creativity, which can be a limitation in certain tasks. Okay? So the lack of creativity in AI refers to its inability. No? Its inability to what? To generate truly original ideas, artistic expressions, novel solutions, limiting its capacity to perform tasks that require imaginative thinking and innovation. So, the lack of creativity, ang ibig sabihin lang yan, is wala siyang original ideas. No? Wala siyang artistic expression. No? So, lahat nakadepende sa input ng human. Nakadepende lahat sa data na kinikiin or tinatype ng human. Okay? The fourth one is ethical concerns. AI systems raise ethical concerns about bias, privacy, and security risks from hacking. When we say bias, no, kung yung AI is na program to be to be in favor of someone or somebody, some institution or some organization, meron ka agad bias doon, di ba? Gagawa ka ng AI na automatic papabor sa ganitong company. There's a bias doon pa lang, ano? And security risks from hacking. So those are the ethical concerns and part of disadvantages of AI. Okay? Next is unemployment. I think it's the same as job displacement. However, the potential or for job displacement due to AI could lead to unemployment and income polarization. Ibig sabihin lang nito, no? Imbis na may chance ka pang makapagtrabaho, no, hindi ka natatanggapin instead of aside from job displacement. If you have the capacity to perform such job, since automated na ang meron sa isang company, hindi ka na wala ka ng chance. Okay? Mangyayari diyan, marami ng demand wherein maraming job na hindi ka na kailangan because of that AI integration to the systems of a company or organizations. Next one is lack of transparency. AI can be faulty. Tama. And the lack of transparency in its decision-making process is a concern. Okay? The lack of transparency in AI refers to the challenge of understanding and interpreting the decision-making processes of AI systems, raising concerns about accountability, bias, and ethical implications of automated actions. Like what we have told you before, there's always a bias when it comes to, not always, but there's a chance of biases when it comes to AI, specifically and especially when someone or somebody is program this kind of AI to be in favor to them or advantageous to them. Doon pa lang meron na tayong bias na ginagawa. So those are the concerns about the lack of transparency and ethical concerns. The last one is environmental impact. The environmental impact of AI is the negative effect on the environment due to the energy consumption associated with training and running large AI models, contributing to increased carbon footprint and resource usage. So, tama naman din to kasi artificial intelligence, no, when it comes to big data, it requires a huge amount of computational power or quantum computing. When we say computational power, it requires a large amount of power, no? Yung mga carbon, yung mga kuryente natin, karamihan naman is coming from ang tawag dito, fossil fuels, 'di ba? Na nagge-generate ng carbon, 'di ba? Mga emissions, 'di ba? So those are some of the concerns under the environmental impact. So to have a more specified disadvantage in various industries, we will discuss it later. But before that, let's watch two videos. Okay. Okay, so to continue our discussion, let us now study the disadvantages of AI in healthcare. Okay, so we have three disadvantages under the healthcare industry. We have bias and discrimination, lack of explainability, and job displacement. When we say bias, like what we have told you, pwede nilang dayain yung input doon sa AI para pumabor sa kanila yung output. Okay? Lack of explainability. When we say lack of explainability, hindi kaagad madaling intindihin yung conclusion na binibigay ng AI kasi they are just ang basis lang nila is yung input. No, wala silang iba't ibang paliwanag na binibigay sa inyo. So that's lack of explainability. The third one is job displacement. Alam naman natin 'yan. Next one is in logistics. So we have here over-reliance on automated systems, ethical concerns in autonomous vehicles, and environmental impacts. When we say over-reliance on automated systems, nakadepende na lang lahat ng ginagawa natin doon sa system. Pero kung ang mangyari is magka-problema yung system, ma-hack yung system, it will then will result to the disruption or to the destruction of the processes, no? Magkakaroon tayo ng mga problema, challenges when it comes to the processing of your company, of the system. Okay? Yan, no, sinasabi niya, no? It will cause significant economic damage pagka nagkaroon ng problema yung AI. Ethical considerations, no? The use of self-driving trucks and drones raises ethical concerns around accidents and liability. Since hindi pa naman lahat ng roads is updated or naka-save sa AI sa kanyang data, baka pwede magkaroon yan ng accidents, no? Yung mga magkaroon tayo ng human casualties kasi hindi pa gaanong alam ni AI or nung driving car kung ano ba yung nasa environment niya. So that's ethical considerations in autonomous vehicles and environmental impact. Yung kasing delivery natin ng mga items or yung logistics side, it could contribute to the pollution, traffic congestion. The next one is cybersecurity. Ano bang disadvantage ng AI sa cybersecurity? Hackers can develop countermeasures to exploit vulnerabilities in AI-based security systems, potentially bypassing defense and causing security breaches. So, gumagamit na rin ang mga hackers ng AI-based to counteract on the AI-based naman na defense mechanism ng isang company. So, ganun lang naman yan. Same time, they could find loopholes on the AI-based security systems. Doon sila ngayon mag-exploit. No? Baka may butas or error yung system ng AI ng isang company. Doon sila magpe-penetrate. Second one is privacy concerns. So, monitoring vast amounts of data through AI for potential for security purposes raises concerns. Kasi pwede kasing ma-disclose or magamit sa maling paraan yung inyong data pag ginamit ng AI. So there are privacy concerns about that. And the weaponization of AI, malicious actors could develop AI-powered tools for cyber attacks, creating an arms race and exacerbating cybersecurity threats. So ito yung sinasabi ko dito sa may adversarial attacks na itong mga cyber threat actors, gagawa rin sila ng AI-based devices or programs that could attack your AI-based defense measures. So those are the disadvantages of AI in the cybersecurity industry. In retail, job displacement, lack of human interaction, and manipulation and discrimination. Job displacement, alam nyo na yan. Lack of human interaction. Since today, no, yung mga retailers natin are usually AI-powered na, no? So sa chatbots natin, may mga sumasagot dyan, mga readily available mga question and answers, no? So, mawawalan na yung personalized recommendation kasi lahat sagot basis na lang nila or basis na lang ng chatbots is yung question and answer na naka-save or encoded sa kanyang system, no? So ang mangyayari, there's no human element or human interaction anymore. Kasi ano na siya, logical ano na siya, kung ano save sa kanyang data, yun na lang kanya susundin. The third one is manipulation and discrimination. Algorithmic personalization and target advertising based on user data could raise concerns about manipulation and potential discrimination against certain demographics. So since AI is dependable on the data or the analytics, no, pwedeng mangyari sa since you could be a targeted individual on their advertisement. Pwede kasi itong mag-raise ng concern. When we say concern, alam na nila yung habit mo sa pag-view ng mga ads. Alam nila yung habit mo kung kailan ka magbabrowse ng Facebook, ng Instagram. And possible maging ma-manipulate ka nila in such a way na ipa-personalize nila yung content sa iyong slides or sa iyong feed, making you ma-attract ka ng bumili sa kanilang mga items. The next one is in manufacturing, again, job displacement. Next one is safety concerns. Improper safety measures in robot-operated workplace could create risk for human workers. Tama din naman to kasi when we say AI or robots, malalaking machines ito, malalaking equipment. So safety is a big concern especially in manufacturing, in logistics kasi itong mga machines ito is malalaki talaga. Now, these are huge machines and equipment that has been developed by programmers, software. No? So that's one of the concern in manufacturing. Environmental impact. Again, this consumes a large or huge power, energy consumption. So it could generate hazardous waste requiring a careful environmental considerations. Again, when we say AI, they require a large computational power. Ang ibig sabihin nito, kailangan ito ng mas maraming energy, electricity. It could leave a carbon footprint na magkakaproblema sa ating environment. Same time, yung waste na nakukonsume natin when we say about sa mga machines na to, yung mga AI machines. So those are the disadvantages of AI in manufacturing. Financial services. In financial services, meron tayong algorithmic bias, financial exclusion, and systemic risk. When we say algorithmic bias, so dadayain na ng AI yung algorithm, dadayain na nila yung result ng for example, ng inputs mo, no? Magiging in favor na o papabor na lagi sa iyo yung result ng credit scores or exam or investment recommendations, no? So that's the bias in financial services, no? Kahit sabihin mo na hindi ka pwede na mag-loan due to ganito, ang gagawin lang nung AI, gawa ka siya ng paraan para makapag-loan ka pa rin. So that's algorithmic bias. Now the second one is financial exclusion. Automation could lead to reduced access to financial services for those who lack digital literacy or face technological barriers. So yung mga hindi teching tao na hindi alam gumamit or hindi alam yung capability ng AI, that's financial exclusion. Paano na lang kung halimbawa itong mga banks natin, digital banks natin, they require or they are into AI na kailangan na lang ng mga input hindi naman technical yung tao, di ba? So that's financial exclusion. Hindi nila makikater yung mga taong hindi techie when it comes to digital literacy. Okay? Third one is risk. Over-reliance to interconnected AI systems in financial markets could raise systemic risk, potentially causing widespread financial instability if one system fails. So kung lahat ng iyong process i-automate mo, okay? And nagkaroon ng problema doon sa kahit isang portion lang or isang module lang ng iyong system, that's a big loss or damage in the company or in the bank. Kasi hindi matutuloy yung flow ng process kung may problema sa iyong system. Especially when it comes to automation and AI. Hindi magpo-proceed yung document mo kung may problema na sa system mo. So that's the disadvantages of AI in financial industry. The next one is research and development. Over-reliance on AI, it could stifle creativity, and critical thinking skills, potentially overlooking innovative ideas that AI fails to identify. So when we say our research and development, kasi kung ano lang yung data na meron si AI, doon lang siya didepende. Doon lang siya get or magfe-fetch ng data, no? For example, database, no? Kung anong data ang available ka, na meron ka, doon lang siya kukuha. So, paano na lang kung may mga bagong ideas na hindi alam ni AI? So hindi magpo-proceed yung research and development mo. So that's one reason, no? Over reliance on AI. The second one is bias in research. AI algorithms analyzing research data could reproduce existing biases in the data, leading to flawed conclusions and hindering scientific progress. For example, yung research mo sa AI or not necessarily in AI, kung nagkaroon ka agad ng bias doon sa algorithm na ginagamit mo, yun yung kaagad output generation mo is may problema kaagad, no? So it could now defer or hinder or delay the scientific progress, no? So yung kasing bias in AI is also one of the problems that we have to address. Okay? Third one is ethical considerations. The use of AI in research involving sensitive data such as personal health information raises ethical concerns about privacy and responsible data governance. So when it comes to AI, again we are talking about data, and the data includes syempre personal information, personal identifiable information of someone or somebody. But kasi itong si AI, just to achieve the goal, gagawa niya ng paraan regardless siguro of disclosing someone's information or private information. That is now an ethical concerns when it comes to research and development. Okay? The, the next one is in education. Pagka lahat tayo nakadepende na sa AI, it could hinder the development of critical thinking skills and problem solving skills in students. Okay? And exacerbating existing inequalities. Students with limited access to technology, yan, or from less privileged backgrounds might be further disadvantaged by AI-driven education systems. So kasi sa panahon natin ngayon, di naman nga din lahat is tech-savvy or they have access to internet or they have digital infrastructure in their community. So dun pa lang, sa literacy pa lang nila sa ICT, or sa education system na meron tayo is may pag-iiwanan sila kaagad. The next one is lack of human interaction. Dependence on AI learning tools could reduce human interaction and mentorship in the classroom, potentially affecting students' social and emotional development. So those are the disadvantages of AI in the following industries: education, research and development, financial services, manufacturing, retail, cybersecurity, logistics, and healthcare. To uh, to finish this video, let us watch these videos I have prepared for you.
Impacts of artificial intelligence. Someone who's written the best-selling book on artificial intelligence, I often get asked, what are the negative impacts on society, on our world? And there are definitely a few. They can all be managed, but in this video, I want to take you through them. Jobs. We have to be honest with ourselves and realize that artificial intelligence will take away some jobs, and it will transform almost every job on the planet. So we are now able to automate more things. We can replace what humans are doing today, from warehouse workers to security workers to receptionists to call center workers to doctors to lawyers. So it's not just physical labor, it's also white-collar work that is being replaced. It will also create new jobs. So lots of people believe that it will actually create more jobs than it will replace. So there was a study by PwC, one by McKinsey, and so on, that all say actually we'll have more jobs in the future, but different jobs. So there's an impact in terms of people have to retrain, they have to understand the impact of this technology on their own job, and it's everyone's responsibility to do this. I have some concerns that there will be certain jobs where people will find it very difficult to develop the new skills that will be needed in this new fourth industrial revolution that we're entering at the moment. But everyone needs to do this, and there will be an impact on jobs. The potential to have biased AIs. As we outsource more and more of our decision making to artificial intelligence, we need to make sure that they don't produce biased decisions, because we have too many of those already in our world. AI is already being used in offender management systems in the US, where they are now making autonomous decisions whether to grant parole to offenders or not. And we have to be very careful that the data we're using to feed these systems isn't biased. In healthcare, for example, if we are building an AI to make a decision who to give a kidney transplant to, and our only criteria is to say we want to maximize the lifespan of the person that will receive the kidney, then we might bias against African American, because what has been shown that they have a slightly shorter lifespan than other ethnic groups for lots of different reasons that are completely unrelated to health maybe. So if the system was biased, it might overlook those certain groups. Amazon has had similar challenges where it started to introduce biases into their own recruitment processes to actually prefer male over female workers. They've now addressed this, but this is something we need to do. We need to really figure out what is the data that we are using to train our algorithms, and how do we make sure that the decision making in our algorithms doesn't replicate some of the biases that we already have in society. And actually this is an opportunity, because we can make sure that we address those biases and create better, less biased decision making in the future. Filter bubbles. This is another challenge linked to biases. What happens now is that AI is very good at pattern recognition. We see this on Amazon, that it can really recommend products to us that we might like or not like, but it's also used in social media. So if you like certain content, Facebook and other social media sites will probably serve you more of that content. And this can filter out content that might give you and might help you to create a more rounded picture of the world. So if you are really conservative, then they might give you more conservative content, and therefore you might miss a more unbiased worldview, and a view that might challenge you and some of the underlying assumptions. So this is again something where we need to reflect on and say, do we want to have these systems really optimized, or do we want to give people a more balanced view of the world? Missing the human touch. As we automate more and more of our processes, sometimes we just need this human-to-human interaction. We see this when we ring a call center and we have a big problem, we have a big complaint to make, and we all know that we sometimes need to speak to a real person that can empathize with us and help us solve this problem. What we are seeing at the moment is that chatbots are getting better and better, and the better they get, the more difficult it will be to actually get hold of a human being and to have this human connection. And this could change the way how we feel about being human. And sometimes you think about this already when we have conversations with our devices, like our smart speakers, our smart watches. Do we really say thank you? Do we have the human-to-human level conversations, the emotions? And the more we automate, the more we give to AI, the less of this we will have in the world. And what we need to make sure is that we protect some of this and really value the human-to-human interactions, but only when it is really needed. A very serious negative impact of AI is autonomous weapons. What we now have is we have drones that can fly themselves into a different country, it can detect targets, it could kill someone. We even have micro drones that can work together and deliver explosive using face recognition to identify the exact person they want to kill. This has huge implications, and there's a big backlash against autonomous weapons at the moment. Lots of people have signed petitions saying we don't ever want to see them. At the same time, we're seeing countries like the US, the UK, China, Russia, all working very hard on creating autonomous weapons. And this for me is a definite negative impact of this technology. AI terrorism. You might argue that countries use autonomous weapons to protect our way of life, but this technology can be exploited by anyone. So these technologies don't know who their master is. So terrorist organizations and criminals can use this in the same way, and they can leverage this autonomy of these systems to drive automated attacks, physical attacks or cyber attacks that threaten our way of life across the world. Environmental impact. Sometimes we feel that these artificial intelligence systems, when they are behind apps that we're using on our smartphones, or they are driven on cloud computing systems that we use on our desktops, we don't see them as having any impact on the environment. What we have to realize is that they are driven by huge server farms that sometimes take the sizes of multiple football fields, that need to have a lot of energy, that need to be cooled, so they're consuming vast amounts of data. So we need to make sure that we use AI for something that actually makes our world a better place, and not just because we can, because it has an environmental impact. Automated hacking and cyber attacks. AI and machine learning can now be used to drive attacks onto our computer systems. So we have these denial of service attacks where lots of computers automatically attack one network, for example, or one website. And these can be automated using AIs. AIs are also becoming increasingly good at phishing attacks. So when they send us an email saying this email is from your bank, this email is from Amazon or eBay, they basically learn what sort of phrasing we need to put into those emails to make us click on this. So in the same way that machine learning can learn anything, it can learn those things as well. And it is increasingly used by cyber criminals to automate their activities. So these were my negative impacts of artificial intelligence on our world. But what you have to remember is that the negative use cases are literally the flip side of the many positive use cases. As someone that works in the field, I see many more good cases for AI, where it is really helping us to make our world a better place, delivering better education, better healthcare, producing better jobs in the future. So we have to be very aware. As a society, we need to manage the negative impacts, but really leverage AI to make our world a better place. If you want to learn more about artificial intelligence or any of the topics in this video, subscribe to this channel or head to my website at bernardmarr.com, where you literally can